Ardo Cal here at Legends of the Ring in New Jersey. The man to my left is the man that I idolized growing up, the man who I would look in the mirror and imitate. Howard Finkel, finally able to speak to you on camera. It's an honor.
Well, it's my honor, Arda, because I have followed your work here, doing everything for the good fans of not only Canada, but around the world, and I'm quite impressed, to say the least.
I just want to say a quick story. The last time I was in Stamford, Connecticut at the WWE offices, Howard Finkel was nice enough to bring me into his office, and he gave me the action figure on his table. I thought that was the coolest thing. He signed it. It's on my desk at work now at the Score. So what I thought to do is I thought to make this for Mr. Finkel. I don't know if you can see it right here, but it is Howard Finkel wearing a Mets jersey, since you're a big Mets fan.
I am.
So I'd like to present this to you so that this may now go onto your desk in replacement of the one you gave to me.
I'm speechless. Words cannot tell my thoughts. This is wonderful. And I'll tell you,
you're a Mets fan, right? I just want to make sure.
Every year I live and die the Mets, and it's just very, very frustrating sometimes. But you know something? For every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. This is my silver lining. I very much appreciate this, Arda.
Let's talk about, I mean, you obviously still in the building in WWE. How often do you get to these kind of conventions?
When the opportunity presents itself, I get out to as many as I can. I don't like to go to too many if they're back to back to back on the calendar, because the more you go to in the same area or geography, the bloom comes off the rose. I like to do conventions whenever I can in various parts of the country, if not the world. And it's great because I can come out and I get to see the fans who want to thank me for all my years. I return the favor. Without them, I could never have done this. And you get to see some of the great talent, both past and present. It's like a reunion. The fraternity gets together and we chew the fat and stories go back and forth. There is nothing like a wrestling convention, Arda. It is just absolutely Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter all rolled into one.
Is there anybody here that you haven't seen, for example, in maybe 15, 20 years?
Well, if I can just put my tuxedo off, shall we say, figuratively, and put on the outfit of a wrestling fanatic, my top get at this convention, Legend of the Ring, was Tony Schiavone. I haven't seen Tony in over 20 years. So when I got the chance to see Tony, we were so happy to see each other. And it was like old times. It was like we traveled together on the road, going back from point A to point B, listening to Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty. It was that good, Arda. It was that good. That was my top get. So yes, there is kind of a list if you see the list of names that are coming out, and I try and just take my dart and throw it to where I want it to land, bullseye, with Schiavone.
Longtime fans like me, Howard, look forward to seeing you in guest appearances, you know, on Raw, whether it be Raw 1000, WrestleMania every single year. Can fans like me look forward to this every year? Is this almost a guarantee that it will happen?
I don't know if the word guarantee is a word in our wrestling vocabulary. It really isn't. Total non-disrespect to you on that statement. But the thing is, for me, I am there whenever they need me at WWE. I currently am very ensconced in my position with WWE.com. By the same token, you know, my first love is to put this outfit on and go out there and still produce. I mean, quite frankly, I still feel that, you know, there's a lot of gas left in this tank, and I'm talking about the kind you drive. So that being said, whenever they want me, I'm there. I hope to be ready to go at WrestleMania 29 following April of 2013. I'm still the only person, and I say this proudly, the only person that has ever had an on-camera appearance at every WrestleMania. And then, if I need to go out and pinch hit for somebody, we now have an official slogan at WWE headquarters. Howard Finkel, in case of emergency, break glass.
Obviously, your most distinguished trait is your announcing style and how you enunciated the words and how you...
Excuse me, Joey style?
No, not Joey Styles, Howard Finkel.
Okay.
How you would present the names, and it was just very unique. And like myself as a kid growing up, I mean, I would imitate you saying Bret Hitman Hart. Like, it's just very unique style. Not the Hitman, and I learned that early on. It's just Hitman.
A huge misnomer.
Who has been some of the most fun names to announce for you?
Well, absolutely. Bret was one of the best because I get to stretch a name, and that puts a little more accent and stamp of approval, at least by my estimation, on the talent. So Brett, the Undertaker was another one. The Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. See, I'm giving you a crash course here. There were quite a few. And every name, I just didn't want it to be run-of-the-mill, vanilla pronunciation. You wanted to do what you could possibly take the name and give it a little bit of pizzazz, put a shot in there and make it happen. And I think I did for most everybody.
Do you get people like, say, like Justin Roberts, who really is like the next generation, so to speak, of ring announcers? Do they ever come to you for advice?
Justin comes to me for advice off and on, and I appreciate that. And I have an excellent rapport with our current crop of ring announcers, and I will say this, Justin Roberts and Tony Chimmel and Lillian Garcia are all very good at what they do, make no mistake about it, but they're not the Fink.
No, absolutely not. I will ask you one more question, because I'm sure Jimmy Corderas, my tag team partner, will appreciate this. He was Tony Chimmel's riding partner for several years, and we always joke about him introducing Edge. He would always say, the rated R superstar, and he'd make it this big, exaggerated What does the guru of ring announcing think of that particular, enunciation?
Chimmel's announcement of Edge?
Yeah.
The rated R I can't do it with my voice. Well, I will tell you a deep, dark secret, kind of like something that will be an exclusive to all you people. I've known Tony Chimmel for 30 years plus. When Tony has to enunciate the letter S and really bring it home, unfortunately, he developed a little vocal problem. It's called chimmelitis. And when he does the chimmelitis, he will, unfortunately, especially with the letter S, it goes, superstar. That's an inside story. It's so inside that I couldn't make it up quicker than I did.
Take a look at that. That brings back a lot of memories of Madison Square Garden, and of course the man holding it, iconic Howard Finkel. This must bring back a lot of memories for you.
It sure does, Arta. This double microphone was something that was really a very important part of the presentation. The cool thing about this was, back in the day, the microphone, the double microphone, if you will, was on a pulley, and it was repelled from the ceiling, and it came down. It was like the old, for those, I don't want to outdate myself here, but the old Groucho Marx thing, when the duck came down from the sky with the secret word. This was my secret word. It was wrestling. It was WWF, WWF, and Madison Square Garden all roll into one. This really brings back some great memories.
We'll talk about, how iconic this setup is at Madison Square Garden.
It was iconic for the standpoint that it was really a part of the presentation. When the microphone would come down, it's really strange, but people would look up and they would see the thing come down, and then they see the thing come around right into my hands. I always made it a point to try and catch it instead of letting it just dangle around like it is here now. And I guess the memories were made from it when I announced the matches. And the most important thing also that I really felt was when it was time to announce the next cards for the forthcoming event in the Garden, you could hear a pin drop. I was told that by many people who watched on the old Madison Square Garden network when the next card was announced. And for myself, in the Garden itself, the object was to generate the right reactions. So that was really a launching pad for me to work on my inflection, to make sure I hit the highs, the lows, the peaks, the valleys. It was a work in progress back in the early days, and then it became very commonplace for me to do.
Now, how did you position yourself with the two microphones? Like, you would be in the middle. How would you position yourself here?
Position myself like this.
So one microphone.
Right. And the biggest question that I was asked was, what was the other microphone for? And to this day, I have no idea.
For a second announcer, it wouldn't make sense with you in the ring already, but I guess, yeah.
Yeah, probably, because they never told me it was going to be the backup mic. They just said, use this microphone. I guess it was always for show. We never used it, to the best of my recollection.
Well, Fink, I know there's a lot of people waiting, and I'm sure that they're gonna get their opportunities, obviously. But before we go,
yes, sir.
The microphone's here. You're in your tuxedo. We may add a third microphone just so we can hear it, but I would love, this would be an honor for me, for you to announce my name with the MSG backdrop. Can we do that?
I'd be delighted.
All right, well, we'll put that right there, and I'll get out of this rod here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And at this time, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce to you the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Arda Oka.
I couldn't have announced my name any better. Howard Finkel, my hero growing up. Thank you so much for your time.
Arda, it's a pleasure. And continued success to you and your journeys.